You know, guys, this video might not do that well, but I want to explain to all of you why there might be some deeper ties, although at surface level it looks pretty blatant. That's going to be China, or Tencent has a hand in everything esports. Over the past week and a half, we have seen responses from several top companies in gaming out there, of course Blizzard being one of them, and let's discuss exactly why Tencent has their hand in a lot of things out there involving gaming. Many consider the kings of gaming with all of their ownership out there, and I really do think there are ties to a lot of companies that are forcing these kind of decisions, or at least it might be possible. Now, first of all, if you guys did not follow the Blizzard situation, they have now banned one pro player for 6 months. Alongside that, 3 collegiate pro players for also 6 months for protesting and speaking out against China. Now, with that though, I think it's fairly obvious Tencent has some sort of ties to the Chinese government, and with that being said as well, China is very well known for a lot of things when it comes to gaming, especially when tied to Blizzard. So you might be asking yourself, why would Blizzard make that move? Well, it could be the fact that 5% of Blizzard is also owned by Tencent. Even more importantly, Tencent also has Chinese distribution to all of their games. StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Overwatch, COD Mobile, more and more and more, and it makes sense why Blizzard would probably make the financially viable choice of banning the players that actually spoke out against Tencent or China because of those ties. It does go on though, Riot Games also issuing their same statement during the same week of all of this Blizzard backlash because they wanted to get ahead of it, and they're also owned 100% by Tencent. Now, I'm not saying what these companies is wrong, because it's certainly not the right place and time to go to a broadcast for a game and actually talk about political stances and talk out about these kind of things. What the players did, I don't think was wrong. What these developers or big companies are doing, I don't think is wrong. It's just a very sticky place to be, where Tencent certainly has their hands. So why would Riot issue that statement? Well, they're trying to avoid the same backlash Blizzard is, but also they're owned by Tencent, so there are their ties there, and there are those doubts there by the community as to exactly why Riot would make those statements. It does go on though, even most recently, it's actually ESL, their CEO, speaking out. ESL, the innocent guy in this case, right? You think, oh, a completely independent company from China maybe, and they're just trying to make the statement and get ahead of this and trying to avoid, as was Riot, all the backlash. Maybe not the case, as apparently they warned all of their employees that and when it comes to political protest, political speech out there, especially to avoid it on social media. And again, I'm not trying to say what these companies is saying is the wrong move. It's actually right to get ahead of the problem, but you look at why they are making this choice, it might not just be because of the fire that Blizzard is under, because yes, they too are tied to the almighty esports and gaming king that has their hand in everything, that being Tencent. It was actually ESL who's announced some time ago a partnership with Huya. That's a Chinese streaming platform, and guess who a giant investor in Huya is? Yes, it is Tencent. Also, Huya did pledge to actually buy $30 million of ESL shares, and so it seems like a pretty strong partnership also tied to Tencent that you would want to keep up and also make sure your employees are not talking bad about the mainland, that being China. So again, one last time, I don't really judge these decisions. It makes a lot of sense company-wise to just avoid the issue altogether. Let's focus on the games. Let's focus on the esports. Let's not talk political speech. I don't come on this broadcast or these videos to tell you guys who I'm voting for, what I stand for, because it's just not the right time or place, and it takes much more explaining to do than can be done in a short clip. It makes perfect sense what these companies have done, but there are certainly underlying ties to Tencent and China as to why these decisions possibly were made, and that's why there's a lot of community doubt about this whole Chinese situation and their Hong Kong protests, because Tencent, when you have hands in Blizzard, you own their Chinese distribution, you own 5% of them, and they make those choices. When you own all of Riot Games, and they make those choices. When you have a strong partnership to a streaming platform also tied to ESL, and they make those choices, it seems a bit odd. It's super scary that every time I talk about Tencent, I feel like I'm being watched almost. They have their hands in everything, and it would make sense, it would add up as to why all of these choices are being made, as they are trying to run things in their way, and if they are, in their case, trying to stand up for the Chinese side of things, it would make sense to force, these companies you have hands in to avoid talking bad about China. this esports realm is slowly becoming more and more political and more powerful, with a company like Tencent being in it. I think they're great for the future of esports. The things they have in development are incredibly cool, and I think that, you know, a lot of things they're actually developing with all of these partnerships they have, they're insane. They're great for the scene, but they still do scare me quite a bit. All I'm trying to say and point out is there might be deeper reasons that you did not know about, that why these companies are making the choices they are. That's all I'm trying to do to you guys. I'm trying to bring light on some situations out there. I'm not trying to accuse anyone or come under fire myself from a giant titan company out there. So let's try and avoid that. Until next time, I hope you guys all enjoy. Thank you for the comments, subscriptions. We just recently broke 54,000 subscribers. You guys are truly the best. You allow me to do this every single day. Until next time, I'll see you guys back here sometime soon. Take care of yourselves. Go Tencent.